gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, shout around? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
A person of interest in custody in the shooting death of a 15-year-old girl in Round Lake Beach. Valeria Rodriguez was hit by a stray bullet while inside of her home Wednesday night. The Lake County, Illinois Major Crimes Task Force says they got a search warrant for the suspect's home and they found a gun.
Charges now filed on the shooting death of a 15-year-old Valeria Rodriguez in Round Lake Beach. Police say that the search warrant found 19-year-old Shorbonia Poole Jr.
Shorbonia Poole Jr. This is indeed the super gremlin of the hour, and Buddy looks stoned. I mean, Buddy looks geeked as hell. So maybe that contributed to his actions that led to the death of this young woman, Valeria Rodriguez. Very disappointing, okay? You know, we've got brothers who are just crashing out. That's just how it has to be put. That's just what is happening nowadays. And apparently this was a stray bullet. She wasn't the intended target. But it doesn't matter because his recklessness and carelessness led to the death of an innocent 15-year-old little girl.
In possession of a semi-automatic pistol that matched shell casings found at the scene of the shooting. Poole has been charged with unlawful possession of a weapon by a felon. He's expected to be in court later this morning. The Lake County Attorney's Office says more charges are expected to be filed pending more forensic evidence.
This was a big story for us first thing this morning, and we want to tell you right now that police in Round Lake Beach have arrested someone in the death of Valeria Rodriguez. The 15-year-old girl was having dinner at her home when a stray bullet came through a window and it killed her. Police say they have a suspect now in custody. They have not named the person at this point in time. They say the investigation is ongoing. This is Valeria right there on your screen. That was from her quinceañera just 2 months ago. We are going to continue to bring you the latest as that story develops. Again, breaking news just coming into us now that they do have someone in custody, but they have not named that person. Our hearts go out to her family.
And we have a breaking news update right now. Police just confirmed they have a person of interest in custody after a stray bullet killed a teenager in Round Lake Beach.
Yeah, she was hit while just sitting in her kitchen in her home.
And
a neighbor's security camera shows kids playing in the park across the street moments before the shooting. And then that same camera captured the street filled with officers on Cherokee Drive. 15-year-old Valeria Rodriguez was in her home when a bullet flew through the window, hitting her. She later died at the hospital. And a neighbor who didn't want to show his face on camera tells us this has just rocked their neighborhood.
It could have been anybody if somebody was just messing around or just picked a random target. You know, it's kind of scary to think that, you know, right next to my house, so my kids' windows are right there.
And Audrina, the neighbor, also says Rodriguez just celebrated her quinceañera at the home. Police.
And I mean, this is horrible. And this unfortunately goes down as another interracial crime, this time Black on Hispanic. And the community has a lot to make up for when it comes to public relations, because we are not really giving this issue as much attention as it needs. Obviously my channel does, but I think overall we really need to put a laser focus on what's going on in our communities to clean them up and leave behind the op culture, leave behind the crash out culture. If we don't, then I'm afraid at where we are inevitably going to end up.
Say they found a gun when they arrested that person of interest.
He came out to take out the trash. There was kids playing outside. Moments after, we saw emergency vehicles, so it couldn't have been like shortly after, you know, kids are playing and this happened.
from weeks ago celebrating her quinceañera.
They were all here dancing and trying to prepare for that.
To now mourning the teenager's sudden murder.
I just saw the mom crying. It was just very devastating. I almost wanted to cry myself.
A Lake County, Illinois family tonight is left trapped by trauma, living inside the very place where police say 15-year-old Valeria Rodriguez was shot and killed by a stray bullet.
You're just inside your house and suddenly somebody is shot.
The kids heard a pop, but they just thought it was fireworks.
Instead, it was gunfire unleashed near Cherokee and Gulf View Drives in Round Lake Beach Wednesday night. This broken window shows the spot where that stray bullet pierced into the teen's home, while her family tells me she was eating dinner in the kitchen.
And that's wild. Imagine that you have your teen daughter eating dinner in the kitchen and then she's hit with a stray bullet over some stupidness. Just plain idiocracy. And this is what we're dealing with in the community on a day-to-day basis, and this time it leaked out into another ethnic group's home, and that is extremely sad. So obviously on behalf of the community, we must disavow these actions because these super gremlins are on demon time.
Police say the girl was not the intended target, as investigators today continued their work to find answers.
I'm still confused on how and why it happened.
Neighbors say they no longer feel safe in their own homes.
Especially having my family here on that day yesterday, I can't imagine it could have happened to any of us.
Lake County Major Task Force investigators are helping Round Lake Police in this case, which is being ruled a homicide, a motive still under investigation. So far, no one is in custody.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
A 15-year-old girl is dead after she was shot inside her own North suburban home. The deadly shooting happened in Round Lake Beach last night.
That's where our Sharday Gray is live with the latest. Sharday.
Joe and Erica, that father is devastated. He was too distraught to speak on camera, but he tells us that his daughter was sitting in the kitchen when she was shot. Neighbors tell us this deadly shooting has rocked their neighborhood.
She just celebrated, so it's kind of surreal.
That neighbor, who didn't want to show his face on camera, tells us 15-year-old Valeria Rodriguez recently celebrated her quinceañera.
The scariest part is not being able to, I'm right here and I wasn't able to do anything about the situation next to me, and that's probably the worst.
Investigators continue their search for a suspect in what neighbors say is a quiet neighborhood. CBS Skywatch flew over the neighborhood in Round Lake Beach. Police say the shooting happened around 9 o'clock last night in the 1500 block of Cherokee Drive. Someone started shooting near the home. You can see where the bullet went through the window. Police say it does not appear the teen was the intended target. She died at the hospital.
I don't know why anybody would attack her anyway.
And we all know that there doesn't have to be a real reason as to why you would attack somebody or shoot somebody in a random shooting. Obviously there's no reason. The guy wasn't necessarily targeting her, but we all know that bullets have no names. Okay, and who they hit is who they hit, and that's the end of that. And it happens in a split second, and it's a horrible thing, but this is something we deal with.
She didn't bother anybody, so I don't think she was very shy.
It was pretty devastating to hear that somebody in the neighborhood was shot.
Jackie Santana's security camera shows kids playing in the park across the street moments before the shooting. It later captured the street filled with officers on Cherokee Drive. She says when she stepped outside, she saw the mother in tears.
It was just very devastating. I almost wanted to cry myself because I can't imagine having a family member just suddenly, like, you're just inside your house and suddenly somebody is shot.
No one has been arrested. Anyone with information is encouraged to call Round Lake Beach Police. Reporting live in Round Lake Beach, Sharday Gray, CBS News, Chicago.
An update tonight from Round Lake Beach, where a man's in custody in the deadly shooting of a 15-year-old girl hit by a stray bullet inside her home.
WGN's Joel Hillary has details.
Hi, good evening, Micah and Ray. As Valeria Rodriguez's family continues to raise money for her funeral, police say a suspect remains locked up. Charges have not been filed yet, but investigators say a gun was recovered from the suspect's home, which police say is within walking distance of Valeria's house. With a suspect off the streets, 15-year-old Valeria Rodriguez's family feels some relief.
I feel like the mom is way more at peace knowing that the person that did that to their daughter is now in custody, and now we will seek some type of justice for her.
Valeria, who would have been entering into her sophomore year, was shot and killed Wednesday night when a stray bullet shot through her Round Lake Beach home while she was eating dinner with her sister.
A lot of people throw a lot of firecrackers, but this was no firecracker.
At this point, investigators say they don't believe Valeria was the intended target and say the deadly shooting appears random. Police say the suspect, who lives within a couple blocks from Valeria's home, was arrested after a search warrant was issued.
It's scary because we would have never thought that somebody like that would live close to us.
As the search for answers continues, Valeria's family is focused on honoring her life and raising money for her unexpected funeral.
And it's unfortunate that this woman, or young girl rather, was killed, but it's just like there's no media coverage. That's something that I've noticed. You just don't get any real coverage on this. You have a innocent teenage girl who lost her life by a stray bullet, and this isn't front page news. I mean, we need awareness so that people are aware, so that we can, implement some type of prevention methods. But if people don't even know or aren't cognizant that this type of stuff is happening on a day-to-day basis to thousands of American families, then you're not going to see any change, any difference in the behavior of these super gremlins on Demon Time.
GoFundMe has been put up on everything will go towards her funeral. We will also be doing a fundraiser here at the park right by her house to raise more money for her parents.
The family says the Sunday fundraiser is scheduled at 9 a.m. in Greenview Park, which is at the intersection of Cherokee Drive and Gulfview Drive. The family also says that Valeria's funeral will likely be sometime late next week. Reporting in Round Lake Beach, I'm Joel Hillary, WGN News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.